What's going on, YouTube? My name is Jacob, and with the release of the new Gears of War Ultimate Edition, you're probably thinking about the campaign and how fucking badass it looks so far. Because we have to be honest with each other, it looks fucking amazing. It's nothing but eye candy, and the devs did an excellent job at remastering this masterpiece. It was perfect. Now, I can't reminisce enough about, all the times that I spent, over my friend's house just playing the campaign over and over. Why? Because it was so damn good. I mean, even though we repeatedly would just play through the same thing over and over, we would just keep on talking about this, all the cool shit that would happen, because it would have a bunch of cool sequences in between each chapter and whatnot. So it was very entertaining to play through it over and over. But that's not what this commentary is about. I want to focus this, particular commentary on the multiplayer aspects of the game. Because if you're a huge fan of the series like I am, multiplayer is one of the main reasons why you bought the game. Because honestly, there's nothing more satisfying than cutting an enemy, in half with a chainsaw or landing a well-placed shotgun blast in their face. But in order to become an elite force in the battlefield, you must understand some of the mechanics that take place in the game. And this is mostly for the new generation of gamers who are too young to get into the Gears of War series, or maybe you're just a new player, or a PS4 owner that recently obtained an Xbox One. Because, the very first Gears of War released on November 7th, if I recall correctly, 2006, which was a while back. I mean, I was like 13 years old when it came out. But anyways, I know that after, finishing the new remastered campaign, you're gonna probably get into the multiplayer, since it's the end content that keeps giving. But tread carefully, fellow Gear, because Gears of War has a very strong skill gap that must be understood, and that it must be learned through the painful process of dying continuously. Because you will get shit on by most experienced players that have been with the Gears of War since day one. Because honestly, they know all of the mechanics, they know how the weapons behave and whatnot, how to, move through the maps, stuff like that. And especially if you're a new player, they're gonna take advantage of that, they're gonna recognize it, very quickly. And they're just gonna say to themselves, oh look, target practice, fresh meat, whatever you want to call it, but the thing is, do not be discouraged. You will eventually become an unstoppable force of nature with enough practice. But anyways, if you ever played Destiny's PvP, you know how beneficial it is to stick around your teammates through the whole, match. I mean, even the speaker says it in the beginning of the match. Stick together, team, and you might just survive. And I can't do a good speaker, but I mean, that's what he says. And he's absolutely right. Simply because, hey, if you come across an enemy, it's always better to have two auto rifles, two hand cannons, or even two scout rifles raining down on him. And it's basically the same thing here on Gears of War multiplayer. You're always stronger when you have a buddy next to you, or even the whole squad just filled with your friends. Two lancers are always stronger and can potentially bring down any enemy extremely quickly. Now imagine how much damage all four of the players in your team can potentially do if you're all well coordinated, backing each other up, moving as a single unit in the field, and reviving anybody that's down but not out. Now, moving as a single unit will always be more intimidating than moving in pairs or alone. Lone wolfing is pretty tricky here, and I can truly say that only heavily skilled players will be able to fend off against more than one or two enemies, simply because the enemy team can just gang up on that one dude that's moving alone. It's pretty easy to take just one person alone, especially when you have your friends next to you. Now, when I say stick with your team, I don't mean like stick to them like fucking glue. No, I mean like keep them on your line of sight, keep them on your left, keep them on your right. Watch their six, spot enemies. And I'll get to the spotting right now. And the thing is, so moving as a single unit will always be more beneficial to the unit itself, because if they win, you win. Because that's what this game is all about. Intimidation, intimidating the enemy team to the point that they will have to hold back the line of fire or hide in the nearest structure in order to take a stand, since they probably keep seeing their fellow teammates go down and get curb stomped over and over, or just get down and get mauled over and over. So keep it in mind, stick with your teammates whenever you're jumping into the Gears of War arena. Very, very helpful. Also, power weapons are a huge game changer if you know how to dominate said power weapons. Now, you need to know how to use them in the right situations, because this is no Call of Duty, okay? Where you can just spam an RPG or spam a stationary turret with no fucking skill, or spam an LNG with no skill. Fuck no, it's not that simple, and that's what makes Gears of War multiplayer so rewarding. Especially when you go, you know, you get those skills that you thought you wouldn't be able to get, but you know end up getting, or you go on those really high kill streaks that you know you wouldn't be able to accomplish, but you do. You know, and the thing is that for the most part, maybe that was all you, or maybe your teammates were assisting you, but for the most part you got the kills. Hey, you take that streak, man. Now, for example, the boom shot here is it's basically the rocket launcher here in Gears of War, and even though it can kill any enemy with a well placed shot, or even the splash damage, if it lands close enough, it still possesses a skill gap that needs to be mastered. I fucked up many times using this weapon, even committing suicide with it, which sucked, and I raged, and I almost wanted to break my controller, but I didn't, because that would just cost me another $60. Now, so whenever you pick up the boom shot, be sure to not shoot it so close to you, or even if the enemy player is too far away. Now, if the enemy is too close to you, and you shoot the boom shot in a panic way, you panic and you just blast them off, you're gonna get blasted off with him. Okay, you're gonna be torn to pieces. So if they do rush you and you have the boom shot, just step back, bunny hop as much as you can. Just try to make some distance between you and a target, and then just fucking shoot them, and then take the kill. Now, if you're in the situation where the enemy is too far away, I recommend you don't take the shot. Why? Because the boom shot can be kind of clunky, especially with the reticle, because the reticle itself, it's not that how should I say this, precise, I guess you could say, because the projectile itself can land in another place that you weren't intending to. So I would just recommend from maybe the close quarters to medium range, and that's pretty much it. Because you're most likely to miss. You might land the hit, but you might just get a little bit of damage off of him. But anyways, another thing that I see players do a lot is completely walk over the Voltok pistol, which could be an amazing weapon. Combine that with the bonus damage of a fast reload, and you can potentially decimate any player very quickly, especially when aiming for the head. It takes about 3 headshots to fully take them down. Now, the only downside to this hand cannon, because it's basically a hand cannon, it's the rate of fire, which is extremely low. It's a very powerful weapon, but extremely low, rate of fire. Now, what I usually do is I take the first 2 shots, do an active reload, and then I'll try to finish them off, with the bonus damage or the active reload, because it does provide a little bit of damage if you hit in the sweet spot. And by now you should be seeing a trend, which is no weapon is useless in the Gears of War arena. Absolutely none of them. Not even the snow pistol you spawn with. You will be surprised on how fast you can take down an enemy player. In my experience, it takes about a whole clip in order to get them in their knees. And after that, I suggest that you perform an execution and make fun of them a little bit, since they only take a clip from your sidearm to take them down. Now the thing is, all these weapons have a skill gap. Some might suit you, some might just irritate the fuck out of you. Either way, you should give them a shot and try them out personally. They might just become your best friend. Now, another thing, again, this is no Call of Duty, not even close, okay? You need to be able to guide your shots. Leading, especially with the Lancer, with the Nasher, with the pistol, like I said, you can take down an enemy with a pistol, but you have to be able to, land the shots, especially headshots. They're very, very beneficial. And talking about headshots, if you go for the precision weapons, if you're a precision weapon guy, you go for the sniper, you go for the pistol, go for the head all the time. Yeah, even if you have the sniper, you get a body shot, you're not gonna be able to take them down. They're still gonna survive. They can rush you with a Nasher and take the kill that was supposed to be yours. And again, don't underestimate any of these weapons whenever they're in the possession of the enemy team, because again, if they use them properly, they can drop you very quickly. So whenever you see a guy with a boom shot, a guy with a sniper, a guy that has grenades, just try to back away a little bit, go back with your teammates, restart, the battle. Do not challenge him if you know that they have these power weapons. Just wait for your teammates and try to gang up with him, and take those power weapons, for yourself and for your teammates. Now, another thing that you should keep in mind is a Nasher. This gun is a bitch, and I mean that in a good way. For me personally, it's a love-hate relationship because of the fact that you can kill enemies with it very quickly, but also miss in a very shitty fashion. It could be kind of frustrating. You know, one day it might be, that one amazing weapon that you're doing, fantastically with, and another day it could be your worst enemy. And the thing that makes it so inconsistent is the fact that there's a spread from your shells. It's always different every time you shoot, meaning the individual pellets will always head in different direction, and it's something to keep in the back of your head. Also, aim for the head with an action because it's very effective. But honestly, in my experience, try aiming down the sights with an action. It really does seem to be more effective. Kind of hoses down the spread of the pellets towards that one target. Especially when it's a one-on-one situation. Try your best to guide all of your pellets in the same direction towards that one target. To bring them down on their knees. Now, at first, it might be a bit frustrating because of the fact that you do not move very slow. You move very slow in the game. What you want to do is bounty hop from one wall to the next, from cover to cover. You can get around the map faster, where you're jumping, from cover to cover, from wall to wall. Very, very helpful. You get a small speed boost, and you can do it very easily. This is especially useful whenever you enter a gunfight with an enemy, because the more you do it, the more they get confused, and it doesn't make you such an easy target. Also, spotting enemies is very beneficial as well. And I know that spotting an enemy only paints a circle over the heads for a very limited amount of time, but it's enough time for you and your teammates, who probably aren't aware of his presence, or the enemy presence, to redirect fire, especially if it's in close proximity, and take that potential threat down. So these are just some general tips that can hopefully assist you in whenever you enter the Gears of War multiplayer, because it can be a bit tricky and a bit challenging, but hopefully these tips can help you out. Please like and share the video if you enjoyed it. This is Jacob, logging off.